It's not actually about Democrats and Republicans. It's about rich people who don't pay taxes, who don't understand that it's not about charity. It's actually about wealth distribution.
Billionaire Starbucks founder Howard Schultz just continues to embarrass himself. Now, I got a couple clips here to show you. Again, this guy is pretending to maybe run for president as an independent. He doesn't like either party. He thinks the issue is, oh, the Democrats and the Republicans just don't get along. Now we need real leadership. Yet he's offering no ideas, no policies, isn't even able to properly describe what the problem is with the system right now. So this first clip, you're going to see MSNBC host Velshi just honestly completely wreck Howard Schultz.
Why do we have K through 12 that's not working? Why is our standing in the world not working? Because of both parties' ideology and unwilling to work together. That's why I'm considering running for president.
So why is everybody
to break the system?
If that's true, why is Britain bifurcated? Why is France bifurcated? Why is Germany bifurcated? Why were the Arab countries bifurcated? It's not actually about Democrats and Republicans. It's about rich people who don't pay taxes, who don't understand that it's not about charity. It's actually about wealth distribution. Right? Why, if that's your explanation, why is Britain bifurcated?
We're now going to talk about what's going on.
No, but you're telling me that our bifurcation, economic bifurcation in America is because of Democrats and Republicans not agreeing on policies? Why is Britain bifurcated?
I'm talking about the lack of leadership and understanding of the fiscal responsibility of elected officials to do the right thing for the American people.
So in each case that I just outlined, but that's because that's not the answer in all those countries, and yet the world is bifurcated.
I'm not here talking about all these countries.
But you're saying that the reason we're economically bifurcated is because of Republican and Democrat policies, and I'm telling you it's a global issue of wealth concentration, not actually about political disagreement on policies.
Do you want to talk about each country? You want to put China up here?
No, but I think we can cut this any way you want, right? How many rich people in America have the wealth of the bottom half of society? How many rich people in the world have the same wealth as the bottom 3.5 billion in society? Oxfam says it's 28. Under 10.
Listen,
about 28?
I didn't create the policies that we are now under. I'm here to tell you that I am looking at the current situation economically in this country, and if you want to solve the problems, you have to have the kind of leadership that cooperates with one another and is not steeped in ideology.
Okay, then.
All right. I'm going to try to not lose my temper here, because usually when I do a video on Howard Schultz, I get crazy because this guy is, to me, he's the perfect example of how we do not live in a meritocracy. He is completely empty. He has nothing to offer. Yet he keeps getting put on national television. He just had an hour-long town hall on Fox News, which is the next clip I'm going to show you, but it shows you how broken this system is. Somebody can make $1 billion and be this fucking dumb. So Velshi does a good job at, pushing back on the idea that it's Democrats. The issue is Democrats and Republicans, not the fact that, big business and the wealthy completely control policy worldwide. That is the actual problem. It's not Democrat. And look, Howard Schultz didn't even understand the argument. I mean, that's how vapid this moron is. He didn't even understand the argument that Velshi was making. He's so completely empty. Now, let me just correct one thing that they were talking about there. The amount of billionaires that own as much wealth as the bottom half of society. So it's actually the top 26 billionaires own $1.4 trillion, as much as 3.8 billion other people. So again, this is a worldwide problem of wealth inequality. This has nothing to do with Democrats versus Republicans, who largely agree on most economic issues. That's not something you're going to hear from, well, definitely not from Howard Schultz, but even most times on cable news won't acknowledge that. The fact that Democrats and Republicans largely agree when it comes to economic policy. So let me give you some examples. This whole era really started under Reagan. So the era of deregulation and the war on drugs. And that was continued under Bill Clinton. So in addition to continuing the deregulation and the war on drugs, Bill Clinton introduced or passed NAFTA. NAFTA, which was a giant giveaway to multinational corporations, allowing these corporations to then close their plants in America and Canada and move those jobs abroad to China where they can pay people less. In addition to that, there was the '94 crime bill, which accelerated mass incarceration. And then you had Wall Street deregulation and the repeal of Glass-Steagall, which even former Secretary of Labor Robert Reich, Bill Clinton's former Secretary of Labor, discussed how the repeal of Glass-Steagall led to the 2008 financial crisis. And then you continue to Bush, the Iraq War, supported by both parties. Then you had the Bush tax cuts, which under Obama were extended. Again, these two parties largely agree on the issues. The debate is only around the margins. Get to healthcare, Obamacare, a private insurance-based solution to healthcare. The public option wasn't even on the table. The Obamacare is a conservative healthcare plan from the 90s. It is conservative. It's private insurance-based healthcare. So this idea that these two parties have these huge disagreements, no, they largely agree on how to do all of this. They work on this together. Then you have the grand bargain where Barack Obama actually proposed cutting Social Security. The only reason why he wasn't able to is because the Tea Party didn't think it was enough. And supposedly some progressive activism also helped Obama come back on that idea of cutting Social Security. But understand, the debate is around the margins on these policies. The Democrats and Republicans are largely controlled by big business and the wealthy. Howard Schultz is part of the problem. So let me go to this next clip where he was on in this Fox News town hall, and just this time nobody wrecks him. Howard Schultz simply wrecks himself.
It cannot be solved currently because of the ideology of both parties. But if I was fortunate enough to become president, this is what I can promise you. I'm about accountability. I'm about results. I would bring the people into the room. I would say, you cannot come in here with ideology or ego. What I want to do is I want to put an empty chair in the room, and that chair represents the American people. And we're not going to leave the room until we solve the problem for the American people. The problem that we have with both parties, the American people are not in the room.
I mean, this is so dumb. He offers nothing. I mean, to think, oh, all you had to do was put the Democrats and the Republicans into a room, have an empty chair in the middle, pretend that's the American people, and now all of a sudden, now we're all going to start getting along and actually instituting policies that benefit the vast majority of Americans. All we got to do is put that empty chair there. Then we're gonna have universal health care. We're gonna put higher taxes on the rich and multinational corporations. We're going to actually put money into schooling, into public transit. That's all we had to do, was put the two parties together in a room and have an empty chair in the middle. What do you say to this? The arrogance of Howard Schultz to think that he has all the answers when he's offering absolutely nothing. I mean, that is what bothers me about this. Most people in his position, what they do is they lie. They know what the problem is, but they just hide it and they pretend no, it's something else. But Howard Schultz, I think he actually believes his own bullshit. I mean, you look at the video where both these videos, he appears completely clueless. When Ali Velshi is challenging him on the fact that wealth inequality is a problem worldwide, it's not a Democrat and Republican issue, the look on Howard Schultz, his face, he's dumbfounded. I mean, this is a guy that really does not understand what the problem is, which shows you how lucky he was to become a billionaire. It was just total luck. And add to the fact that since the time that he grew up, economic mobility has been completely destroyed. The idea that you can be born into a poor family now and somehow make it big, it just doesn't happen. It doesn't happen the way it happened for the Howard Schultz era. If you are born into a poor family, you are like 99% likely going to stay poor. If you're born into a wealthy family, you are very likely to stay wealthy because you inherited that wealth that continues to generate and grow on its own. So this idea that, oh, no, it's all Democrats and Republicans just have to get along and get in the same room, while he is not offering any policy, any solutions whatsoever, and he is actually, as a billionaire, part of the problem. It just shows you how completely vacuous this moron is.